Attention real estate investors. Are you looking to diversify your investments in a growing industry and collect frequent income? You should check out Image Studios Salon Suites. We offer an investment opportunity where real estate comes together with beauty and wellness. We rent turnkey studios to beauty professionals and are on track to have over 100 locations open this year across the country. Image Studios is a unique investment opportunity, and we're building an incredible team of high-caliber entrepreneurs from coast to coast. We're the leader in the industry and poised for tremendous growth. Interested in owning your own Image Studios franchise? Contact us today. Visit imagestudiosfranchise.com to find out more. That's imagestudiosfranchise.com.
Gives you a closer look at the events that happened around Maine this week.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Cindy Campbell. It's the season for people to crank up their heating systems and decorate for the holidays. So I wanted to talk this morning about fire safety. Assistant Fire Chief Chandler Corriveau with the Bangor Fire Department joins us this morning with some valuable tips, including about the potential dangers that may involve some of the gifts you have under your tree. This time of year, let's start by talking about heating systems. How important is it to get your system serviced every year?
Yeah, so we recommend, Cindy, heating systems need to be cleaned and inspected annually, whether that's your furnace, your chimney, whether you have a wood stove or a pellet stove.
We hear about a lot of chimney fires this time of year.
Yeah, so, people could be burning, non-seasoned wood. We usually see an increase in chimney fires this time of year, so we always recommend that they be inspected by a professional and cleaned regularly.
Something else that I seem to hear a lot of is people with wood stoves or pellet stoves that keep combustibles too close to the fireplace.
Yeah, so our recommendation is that you should have combustibles at least 3 feet away. And that doesn't just mean for your wood stove or your pellet stove. That's also space heaters. So we've seen fires started from space heaters because clothes, toiletries, things like that are too close to even an electric space heater. So we recommend at least 3 feet away. Some things that we have seen here, and it's kind of like an old school thought, is especially with wood stoves, is they stack wood close to the wood stove to help dry it out. And we've even gone as far as seeing fires in the city caused by people stacking pieces of wood on top of their wood stove to help dry it out, and then it becomes too dry and causes a fire.
Wow. When I think combustibles, I always think of like cleaning products and things. We'll say combustible on the back, but it can actually be anything, like you said, from wood to clothing to cardboard boxes, right?
Yep, to curtains, to blinds, to anything that can burn, we consider combustible. So anything like that, at least 3 feet away, absolutely is the best practice. And I've seen here where an appliance, meaning a furnace, a wood stove, a pellet stove, isn't on. Somebody's down in their basement, they're doing some cleaning, they're getting out their Christmas decorations, they set a plastic tote on top of it because it's not running, then they forget about it. And they come back and it has either melted or it's on its way to catch fire. So even though it's not on, you still want to make sure you keep everything at least 3 feet away. If you're using a space heater, do not plug it into a power strip or an extension cord. It needs to be plugged directly into an outlet. So those aren't made to handle the draw, and we've seen power strips and extension cords actually melt down and cause a fire.
All right. Now, when the power goes out and you hook up that generator, I know we're always hearing from the power company about making sure that you hook the generator up correctly to your furnace because it can endanger the crews that are working on the lines. But I would think if it's not hooked up properly, it could also start a fire.
Yeah. So one of the biggest things that we see this time of year for power outages, obviously because they increase, is people running portable generators inside their home, inside their garage. Even though your door may be open, we recommend at least 15 feet away from the structure. Don't run your portable generator inside your home or your garage. Carbon monoxide poisoning, right? Colorless, odorless, becomes a big factor this time of year. So we don't want to see anybody get really sick or, worst case, die because of carbon monoxide poisoning because they use their generator inside.
Okay. So before I move on, Chandler, anything I missed about heating systems?
We also recommend, you need to follow the manufacturer's instructions as far as maintenance and installation. Of course, prices of heating oil and heating fuel are getting high. We've seen people kind of use some makeshift items or appliances, so makeshift wood stoves, makeshift pellet stoves, some makeshift coal burners we've seen here in the city, and then we've seen them not installed properly because people don't want to pay a professional to install it, so they think they can do it. and then it gets installed incorrectly and can cause a fire.
I bought somebody's old wood stove on Facebook and hooked it up myself, and we're good to go, right? That's not a good idea.
That is not a good idea. We have seen that. Definitely worth the money to pay the professional to make sure it's done correctly. That way they follow all the building codes, all the fire and life safety codes, and you know with a peace of mind that it's done correctly.
All right. We had an outlet that was acting really weird. It would all of a sudden shut out the lights in our kitchen for no reason, and the outlet was in the living room. When you see things like that, bring in an electrician and have them check it out because it could be a wiring issue.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I always tell people, always call the fire department if you ever question anything like that. If you think something's on fire, if you think something isn't correct, call the fire department. It only takes us a few minutes to get over to your house. We'll come check out the situation. We'll give you a peace of mind. We'll make some recommendations for you, and it may be to call an electrician. We may find something, but I can't stress that enough. Give us a call. We'll come right out. We'll take a look at it, and we'll go from there.
And if it's nothing, you're not going to be like, oh, I can't believe you called us out here. You just want everyone to be safe.
That's correct. We want everybody to be safe. That's why we're here. We're here to help assist the public in any way we can. Just give us a call. We're more than happy to come out. And if it's nothing, we get an opportunity to meet some nice people, and there's no fire, no emergency, and that's a good day for us. So by all means, please give us a call.
Okay. What is a good way to thaw out frozen pipes?
So we recommend, using a hairdryer, done safe. So we have had fires because somebody was using an open flame to try to thaw pipes. That is not our recommendation at all. Very dangerous. And we have had several fires in the city of Bangor because of that.
Okay. My husband and I just recently got a fire extinguisher for our kitchen. Cooking fires are another issue, correct?
Yep. People are having big family meals this time of year. Cooking fires can obviously have a potential to be a problem. So, fire extinguisher in your kitchen, underneath your kitchen sink, or somewhere easily accessible. And in the event that something happens, if you have a pan of grease, put a cover on it, throw a towel over it. You can put baking soda in it. Don't put water in it. That will make it worse and spread it. If you can put a cover on it and carry it outside, that will limit the oxygen and put the fire out. But don't dump water and grease. That's bad. You can get burned or worse, cause a big fire in your kitchen.
And don't take the burning pan without a cover and run through your house with it, because that'll start secondary fires.
Yep, that is correct. We have also seen that here where somebody thought that they were doing the right thing, grabbed the pan, tried to carry it outside, and the grease spilled out in the living room onto the deck, and now the deck in the living room is on fire, and they received second-degree burns on their hands and their arms and their legs from that. Wow.
Have to talk about smoking. Make sure you're disposing of those smoking materials correctly.
Yep, obviously you want them outside of your house, away from the house, preferably in a metal container, not a plastic container, preferably filled with water. That also brings up a good point about ashes this time of year. People cleaning their wood stoves or their pellet stoves, you want to dispose of those ashes away from your house. Even though your deck may be snow covered, don't dump the ashes on your deck. Don't leave them in your house to cool down, even though you may have them in a metal container with a bucket. We recommend outside, away from the structure, away from anything that could burn. I responded to a fire last year where somebody had cleaned their wood stove. They dumped their ash in their garden area because the ash is good for the garden.
Okay.
And it had melted through the snow, and they had done this repeatedly, and it actually caught some old grass and hay on fire, and it actually kind of caught the side of their garage on fire. So even though it was away, you still want to make sure what's underneath the ground isn't going to catch fire and burn. So away from anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen people, I dump it away. Well, where'd you dump it? Well, I dump it on my deck. Well, your deck is snow covered, but the hot ash melts through the snow, and then over time, throughout the months of winter, caused the fire underneath the deck to happen.
Wow. That's so scary. We were talking about kitchen fires, and you mentioned this time of year, people that use those turkey deep fryers and put them close to their house, and then the turkey catches fire.
Yep, or it overflows, and then the grease catches fire, and the grease runs down, catches the side of the house on fire. Same thing. You need to be at a safe distance away from your garage, from your home, if you're going to use those types of things. Don't do the turkey fryer inside your garage. You want to do it outside and at a safe location.
Okay. So let's talk a little about holiday decorating. How easily will a Christmas tree catch fire?
So a Christmas tree catches fire very easily if it's not watered properly, and the fire progresses extremely rapidly. We always recommend, if you're going to have a real Christmas tree, make sure you water it every day. keep an eye on that. If you have lights in that tree, don't leave them on overnight. Don't leave them on unattended. Make sure that if you're going to put up Christmas lights, that you check them, that the wires aren't frayed or cracked, or that you have wires showing if the coating's missing. Make sure the bulbs are in correct working order. And then we recommend not leaving them on overnight or unattended.
Okay. So you don't want to overload your circuits.
That is correct, yes. You don't want to overload your electrical circuits. Again, I would follow manufacturer's recommendation on how many sets of lights you can hook up, how many lights can go into an outlet, that kind of thing.
And people like to put candles out. Candles can be very dangerous.
They can be dangerous if not properly monitored. You just want to make sure that they're monitored and that they're away from any combustibles. Curtains, you don't want your animals to tip your candle over if it's in a bedroom, so we always recommend that it's in a safe location away from any combustibles.
Okay. You really need to keep those dryer vents cleared out, right?
Yep. You should clean your dryer regularly. That lint can build up, and that can cause a fire. And to go back to our conversation we had about heating appliances, something that we see this time of year, especially in our city here in Bangor, with a lot of natural gas furnaces or propane furnaces, that as the snow builds up, you want to make sure that those vents stay clear. So usually those are installed in the basement, and the intake and the exhaust are several feet off the ground, but we have seen snow build up, especially if the snow comes off the roof. You want to make sure those stay clear. You don't want them to back up, and that can cause a carbon monoxide issue.
Okay. And ultimately, the best defense in your house is to make sure you have working smoke detectors.
Yeah, I can't stress that enough. We still go to fires today where people don't have working smoke detectors. They have smoke detectors. Either the battery is dead, or they've taken the battery out, or the smoke detector has been removed. And I can't stress the importance of making sure that you have working smoke detectors. You need to test them monthly. Do not take the batteries out of them. Don't take them down for any reason. People get in the mindset that, it won't happen to me. You just never know. A fire can happen to anybody, and they happen fast, and you need to give yourself the most amount of time to get out of your home that you can. And having working smoke detectors can make that difference. Carbon monoxide detectors, you need to make sure that you have a carbon monoxide detector, again, on at least every level of your home. That is a recommendation.
Okay. And if the carbon monoxide detector goes off, get out of the house.
Same thing, yes. If your carbon monoxide detector goes off for whatever reason, even if it beeps, same thing. Just call the fire department. We'll come right out. We have meters that we can check to make sure that everything is normal.
Okay. Where ideally should smoke detectors be put in people's houses?
So we recommend one in every bedroom and one detector outside of every bedroom, and then on at least every level of your home.
Okay. And let's talk about escape plans. How important are escape plans?
Absolutely. So you need to make sure that you have a meeting place in the event that you have a fire. You need to practice that home escape plan with your children. If your house catches fire, you get outside, stay outside. Don't go back inside. Call 911 from a cell phone or from a neighbor's house. We have had fires where everybody has gotten out safely because they had working smoke detectors, and somebody went back in for a pet or to get something only to not come back out.
Yeah.
And then that just puts increased risk to our firefighters. And, I know it's tough to see something like that happen.
Yeah.
Try not to go back inside.
Right. And the meeting place can really make it easier for firefighters. You can tell the firefighters there's nobody in the house. If you're all at different parts of the yard, you may not realize that somebody's gotten out.
That's correct. One of the first things that I ask if I show up to a house fire is if everybody is out and where are they. And if they're able to, if the occupants or the neighbors are able to provide me that information, then we can focus on trying to extinguish the fire and not trying to rescue occupants because we know that everybody is outside.
Okay. And when in doubt, if you have any kind of fire, call the fire department. Even if you get it out before they get there, that's okay.
Yep. Even if you think it's out, we don't recommend anybody to try to fight the fire themselves, right, because that just delays in calling us, and then the fire can grow. So, yep, absolutely.
Okay. Chandler, that's everything I had. What did we miss?
A campaign that happens nationally. It's called Close Before You Doze, and it is our recommendation that you always sleep with your bedroom door closed. So in the event that your house catches fire, sleeping with your bedroom door closed, that helps create some survivable space, and it helps keep the smoke and the fire out of the room that you're in. And that can really make the difference between surviving a fire and not, or being able to get out and not being able to get out.
Okay.
Some things that we have seen, and I have seen personally, this time of year, like I said earlier, the cost of fuel is expensive. Don't heat your home with your oven or your stove. We have seen that. Don't use homemade heating appliances. If you're having a struggle to afford heating fuel, give your city office or your town office a call. There's heating assistance available out there.
Right.
So a trend that we're kind of seeing, Cindy, and it's going on throughout the country, is we're seeing a lot of lithium-ion battery fires. So your e-bikes, your e-scooters, your hoverboards. So just some tips to pass that along. You know, you always want to follow the manufacturer's instructions for charging and storage. You want to make sure that you have the correct battery for that device. You want to make sure that it's plugged into an electrical outlet for charging. Again, you don't want to use an extension cord or a power strip. You want to make sure that the batteries stay at the room temperature, that they don't freeze. You want to keep them away from any heat source. One thing I can't stress enough is that you don't want to charge that device unattended. Things that we've seen is a bike gets charged unattended overnight, and the bike is next to the door that you would use to escape your apartment if it catches fire and an occupant's not able to get out.
Wow.
So you want to make sure that you don't charge them at night and that it doesn't block your means of egress. Same thing with cell phones. If you have teenagers, make sure that if they have a cell phone and it's charging, that it's not put under their pillow or in the couch cushion or under the bed. You want to make sure that it's on a flat surface. That way it can cool. Same thing with a laptop. You want to make sure that it can cool that battery. They can overheat and they can catch fire.
And the ion battery fires, they burn very fast and very hot, don't they?
Yes, very fast, very hot. The smoke is very bad for you. We have seen a few fires throughout the city here, from an RC car battery to an e-bike to a lithium-ion battery pack that helps control your furniture for your couch or your chair. I've had a fire with a laptop that was put on a bed that couldn't get air to cool it down. We've seen fires with cell phones underneath a pillow where it overheated because it was charging rapidly. And the fires happened very quickly. The smoke is very, very bad for you. And I can't stress that enough, that it's something that you really need to pay attention to. Even myself at home, my son has a ride-on battery-operated car. We only charge that during the day when somebody's around. I have battery-operated power tools. I don't leave the battery in the charger overnight. I also don't leave the batteries in the tool overnight. Anything that we can do to try to limit that is very important.
Okay.
And it's something that people don't think about. And you can do a quick Google search, and it just takes a few seconds. And what started out as a small fire, now the whole room is going.
Yeah. Great advice, Chandler. Anything else?
I really can't stress the working smoke detector. If anybody takes anything away from this interview, please, please, please make sure that you have working smoke detectors and that you test them monthly to make sure that they work.
If anyone has questions about where they should place their smoke detectors, can they contact their local fire department to send someone over and help them, know where to put them?
Absolutely. If you have questions on where to install a smoke detector.
Thanks again to Assistant Chief Corriveau for that valuable information. If you have any questions, contact your local fire department. I'm Cindy Campbell. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and stay healthy.
Join us again next weekend for Maine Concerns with your Town Square Media News team.
Attention real estate investors. Are you looking to diversify your investments in a growing industry and collect frequent income? You should check out Image Studios Salon Suites. We offer an investment opportunity where real estate comes together with beauty and wellness. We rent turnkey studios to beauty professionals and are on track to have over 100 locations open this year across the country. Image Studios is a unique investment opportunity, and we're building an incredible team of high-caliber entrepreneurs from coast to coast. We're the leader in the industry and poised for tremendous growth. Interested in owning your own Image Studios franchise? Contact us today. Visit imagestudiosfranchise.com to find out more. That's imagestudiosfranchise.com.